Battle Through the Heavens. Chapter 98. The Fiery Arrival of the Crimson Student, Xianxia. With his preparations complete and his resolve hardened, Xiaoyan now faces the long-awaited arrival of the Jianan Academy recruitment in Wutan City. While the masses scramble in a desperate frenzy to prove their worth, he remains composed and focused on his own path of cultivation. Rather than joining the chaotic crowds at the gates, he seeks the familiar solitude of the mountains to temper his skills before the true test begins.
Continue the same scene, noticing the clan grounds were unusually quiet. He shook his head. Nearly half the clan had rushed to the center of Wutan City. The Jianan Academy recruitment team had arrived today, and by now, the city gates were likely a choked mess of bodies.
A crowd of lunatics,
he muttered.
They think showing up early makes the test any easier.
He turned toward the back mountains with a slow, relaxed gait. This was his time for training. Cultivating his dochi and refining his techniques had become a daily rhythm he refused to break. The recruitment team had stopped in Wutan City, but they were also responsible for the surrounding regions. By the second day, when Xiaoyan finally arrived at the recruitment grounds, the sight made him stop in his tracks. The massive courtyard was a sea of heads. The line stretched so far he couldn't see the end of it. Noise rose from the plaza in a constant, dull roar. Thousands of young men and women fought to shove their way forward. City guards stood in thick lines, their hands on their weapons, to keep the desperate crowd from turning into a riot. Xiaoyan stared at the human tide and let out a long breath. He rubbed the back of his neck, feeling a headache coming on. There was no way to get through that mess smoothly.
No ideas?
Xiao Yu stood behind him, flanked by Shuner and Xiao Mei. She saw the look on his face and let out a smug hum. Xiao Yan rolled his eyes, ignoring her attitude.
Does my dear cousin Xiao Yu have a plan?
Xiao Mei saw the tension rising and quickly stepped between them with a smile.
The officer in charge of recruitment is Xiao Yu's mentor. She is his prize pupil. Of course she has a way.
Xiao Yu lifted her chin, her nose tilting upward.
Follow me.
She turned and walked away, her long, slender legs moving with a confident stride. Xiao Yan looked at Shuner and shrugged.
fine. I won't argue with her today.
Schwenner smiled and nodded, falling into step beside him. Xiao Yu led them around the perimeter of the plaza. They stopped at the western edge, near the rear of the grounds. Heavy infantry blocked the path in 3 thick layers. Sunfire sparked off their polished steel and sharp spear tips. Xiao Yu told them to wait, then stepped forward alone. She pulled a green jade token from her robes and spoke with a commanding officer for several minutes. Finally, she waved them over. The officer's eyes were cold and sharp. He scanned Xiao Yan's group several times, looking for any sign of weakness. After a long silence, he threw up a hand.
Let them through.
The armored soldiers shifted, their metal plates clanking as they formed a narrow passage. Xiao Yu took her token back, flashed a grateful smile at the officer, and led the group inside with her head held high. As Xiao Yan stepped into the corridor of soldiers, the air turned cold. A faint scent of old blood hung around the men. They stood like stone statues, their faces devoid of emotion. The raw, killing intent radiating from them made the others catch their breath. Their chests tightened and their heartbeats quickened under the weight of the pressure. Are these the veterans of the border wars? Xiao Yan took a slow, deep breath. He forced the tension out of his muscles. His feet, which had gone soft for a second, turned steady and heavy again. He was a 4-star doge now. His raw strength surpassed most of these men, and though he lacked their battlefield experience, he refused to let their aura break him. The walk was only a dozen paces, but for the others, it felt like 1,000. By the time they cleared the line, their palms were slick with cold sweat. Xiao Yu's face was pale. She forced a shaky laugh and looked at the officer.
Senior K, why did you have to test us like that?
The man's stiff face cracked into a tiny, grim smile.
Instructor Ruo Lin gave the orders. If you want to use the back door, you have to prove you can handle the heat. My men have slept among corpses. Anyone without a strong will would have collapsed halfway through.
He looked past Xiao Yu, his eyes lingering on the calm expressions of Shuner and Xiaoyan.
It seems the instructor found some decent talent this year.
Xiao Yu huffed and waved him off. She grabbed Xiao Mei and Xiao Ning, whose legs were still trembling, and hurried them toward the center of the courtyard. A large green tent sat in the middle of a clearing. People moved busily in and out. Every few minutes, a young man or woman would emerge from a side passage with a look of pure joy, having passed the initial test. A woman's laugh rang out as they approached the tent. A flash of red blurred toward them. A girl threw her arms around Xiao Yu, her hands immediately wandering to Xiao Yu's chest with a mischievous squeeze.
Let me see if you've gotten any softer since last semester.
You pervert! Get off me!
Xiao Yu laughed and pushed her away. She turned to the group to introduce her.
This is Shu Ni, my best friend at the academy. She's already a 4-star Daozhe.
Xiaoyan looked the newcomer over. She wore a bold red dress that hugged her curves, and her long brown hair was pulled back in a high ponytail. She wasn't quite as beautiful as Xiao Yu, but she had a fiery, athletic energy that drew every eye in the courtyard. Xiao Yan noticed several boys who had already passed their tests staring at her chest with hungry looks. Xuanyi and Xiao Yu were clearly close. They stood with their arms linked as Xiao Yu pointed out her family.
These are my kin. This is Suner. Beautiful, right? Don't get any ideas. She isn't interested in you. That's Xiao Mei and my brother Xiao Ning. And this one...
Xiao Yu's voice dropped as she looked at Xiao Yan with a frown.
This is the one I told you about, Zhao Yan.
Xuanyi's eyes lit up as she looked at the girls.
Wow, your family has so many beauties. If they join the academy, the boys will lose their minds.
Then she stopped, blinking at Xiao Yan.
Wait, Xiao Yan, the cousin who was stuck at the 3rd stage of Dou Qi? He's actually quite handsome.
Xiao Yu's face went red. She pinched Xuanyi's arm hard.
I never told you that. You must have heard me talking in my sleep.
Xiao Yan smirked. He rubbed his chin, looking at his cousin.
You dream about me? I didn't think we were that close. I remember a few years ago when you were the one doing the touching.
Shut up!
Xiao Yu's face burned. She lashed out with a long leg, aiming a kick at his ribs. Xiao Yan shifted his weight, letting the kick whistle past him. He'd gotten his revenge for her earlier smugness and decided to let it drop.
What touching?
Shu Ni asked, her eyes wide with curiosity.
Did he touch you, you are?
Xiao Yu pinched her again, harder this time. But the older woman, Shannon's face and expression, it was like anger, intense anger. And it didn't look real. It was more like someone who was acting like they were angry, so it felt worn out. Xiao Yu's forceful pinch kept ringing louder, and the older woman's face and expression kept getting clearer. It was as if they were even closer to this time. I turned my head towards them, and I couldn't move anywhere.
Stop playing around.
Xiao Yu grumbled.
I need to get them through the testing.
Fine, fine.
Shu Weini rubbed her bruised arm, her playful look fading slightly.
I almost forgot. Lu Bo Yu came along with the recruitment team this time. He just broke through to 4-star Doge on the way here.
Xiao Yu's smile vanished.
Why is that annoying brat here?
Why do you think?
Shui Ni teased.
He's been pinning for the great beauty Xiao Yu day and night. He traveled all this way just to see you.
Xiao Yu grit her teeth. She turned and glared at Xiao Yan.
Don't even think about it.
Xiao Yan said immediately.
I'm not playing your fake boyfriend. I have no interest in you, and I'm not doing it.
He didn't wait for her to explode. He turned and walked toward the tent with his hands behind his back. Shuni stared at his back in disbelief.
Wow, your charm is failing, Yor. Every guy in the academy would break their own neck for that chance, and this kid just brushes you off?
Xiao Yu fumed, her hands balled into fists.
He's a freak. Don't look at him like a normal person. Tell me, other than that monster girl at the academy, have you ever seen anyone go from the 3rd stage of Doqi to a 3-star Doje in a single year?
Shui Ni's jaw dropped. The playful spark in her eyes turned to pure shock. She looked at the slender, quiet boy walking toward the tent. This was the family failure Xiao Yu had complained about? If that was a failure, the rest of the world was in trouble.